Okay, so it's Friday morning. Welcome to the polar edition of Hydrodam. So the power, not the power went out, but the heat went out last night in the shop, and we came in here, it was like 45 degrees, and it's 2 outside. So it might be 7 outside right now.
I was say the truck was showing 9.
Oh, it was? Okay, yeah, that's a heat wave. So, yeah, we've had the heat on here for probably an hour now, so it is starting to warm up in here. And waste oil heat, it whiskered the spark plug, and apparently when I left the door last night, it decided to shut off to get it that cold in here. Yeah. So, we're going to continue to work on, what you're going to see today is we're going to continue to work on the
Bay 1 cross members.
Yeah, the Bay 1 or Bay, yeah, Bay 1 today. Yeah. Cross members that you would have seen. I think everything that we're doing right now is it's gonna be a couple of days of us working on building the upper support that holds up the gearboxes. So it's gonna be that when we get it assembled. And so we're gonna build both of them because we have the coordinates for both Bay 1 and Bay 2, and we're gonna get them built, and then so it's gonna be just more drilling holes and cutting steel, and we're having a hard time getting some 8-inch channels. So Robbie fished this out of his archives. I had like 25 feet or something of 6-inch, but of course we didn't have any 8-inch. So we got this. We're gonna make the two. We need to have like 2 30-inch pieces, and this is what, an 80-inch piece here?
80-inch.
Yeah. So we're gonna proceed and make those up, and just keep moving forward on that. It's all got to get done, and so that's the way we're going to approach it. We're just going to keep making the parts while we've got in that mode, and we got all the drills out, we got all the stuff out, so we're going to just proceed and make them. So we'll come back when we're doing we're just doing a layout and the drilling and stuff like that. It's not going to be like one of the more exciting episodes. Apologize for that, but there's going to be quite a bit more coming up. Yesterday I dragged in 2 of these sawhorses. I got 2 more. Those are steel sawhorses that I've multi-function. And I believe what we're going to do is take some little tabs that will have a bolt pattern in this 3-bolt pattern, and have it like 6 inches wide. And we're going to tack them onto here on 2 of these. I don't know if it's going to be these 2 or the other 2, but we're going to arrange it in a situation so we can set these on the sawhorses like down here and build this whole upper, have the bearing frame, the bearing plate bolted to them, and then build this whole set this whole upper assembly, I'm having a hard time talking, together as a unit, and mock it up in full scale with the gearbox and the shaft and the everything. I'm probably going to make, well, not probably, I'm certain I'm going to make some kind of a little plug to go in here that holds a chunk of 2.5-inch shaft, and it'll be up the appropriate amount, so we can rig up the whole upper H-frame with the gearbox in it and the drive shaft that's going to connect everything together, and we can get it all built in real scale safely, and it's not tipping over here on the acorn table and stuff. And because when this is all put together, it's going to be a fairly hefty unit with that gearbox suspended in there, and you know, all of that stuff. So that's the way we're gonna, it's kind of just a thumbnail sketch of where we're headed as far as shop work goes. And like we were discussing this morning earlier, Robbie and I, what you were saying about it, you don't think it looks as visually.
Yeah, it's not as visually stimulating to the people watching, just watching us drill holes, cut metal and all that. But when we actually start bolting things together, getting gearboxes and shafts in place.
Yeah, and down in the Hydrodam, even though it's messed up,
yeah,
there's some action down there with the water, and it's kind of scenic, and it's stuff that, you know, you can see anybody drill holes and do stuff about anywhere. But yeah, but we'll be back to the Hydrodam soon enough. It's just we gotta go back there with pieces. I mean, that's the thing. We gotta get this stuff built.
Thank God we're not there today.
Yeah, yeah. It's 0
Yeah.
or it's 9 degrees outside. It would be 18 below inside that concrete box.
No thanks.
There's just
With
very.
water flying.
I've been colder probably in my life, but I don't remember when.
cold.
It's pretty cold in there. So we're gonna come back. We'll come back to this when we get some of this stuff laid out. We got some sawing to do, and yeah. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're back at it. We're still at it, I should say. And just to make this a little more visual, because like we discussed earlier, it's kind of tedious stuff, and we've been just double, triple checking ourselves because we don't want to do this twice. And so this is basically going to be the bolt pattern for what you see over there stood up. That one of the other cross members for Bay 2. This is the one for Bay. These are the ones for Bay 1. But so that's it in its raw form. We got to cut the length and get the relationship between this end is solid, and this end here on both of them we're going to trim. In fact, I have to mark that. Yeah. So once again, you get doing so much stuff just from measurements and sketches and stuff. You gotta verify, and that's what we've been doing just to make sure that we've got this right. So we build one set of these, not multiples. So we got that ready to go, and we've got this ready to drill. And there's Shop Chicken cheering us on. So we're gonna set to it here and get these drilled. There's gonna be a bunch of drilling action going on with the faithful. At this point, we're not even calling it new. I mean, we've used the radial drill more than anything else in the shop. I mean, I think somewhere in this there's a bunch of stuff in here we haven't really looked at, and the VTLs and that big lathe down there. Somewhere before this is over with, we're gonna have to unmask all of this stuff and just show people what it is. When those wicket gates were stuck, when we, like 2-3 months ago, when we were gonna start, we had to yard them out of there. Part of me was secretly thinking that we had to use the big VTL to trim the wicket rings, or bore the casings out or something. It didn't come to that, but I was like, I'm not disappointed we didn't have to do it, but it's kind of like, man,
it would have been cool.
Yeah, those machines haven't run much in a while, so yeah. So anyways, back to mundane drilling holes. Yeah, I know it's boring. We fully accept that, but it's part of getting the job done. So we'll catch back up here as we're headed at it. I guess, I should show. We got these end pieces stacked up, so we're going to just gang drill them all. Just drill right down through, blast the same hole. One layout. And we're going to drill one hole there through 4 pieces thick. So that'll be that, and then we'll move on to the next piece. So drilling.
Have you told them how much you love this machine?
Not today.
Okay, you probably should.
No, I'm done mentioning it.
Then you'd have to take it to a machine shop.
And you probably wouldn't have time to fix it.
Yeah.
What do you think? That look about right?
Yeah. For about 3.5 seconds. That's a better looking speed.
Sounds bad. Sounds way worse than it really is.
Yeah, it actually does a good
Cuts
job.
right down through there once you get dialed in. It's really not that much drama. It just sounds like you're doing bad things to small animals, but I really love animals, so I would never do that. So then, that's that. And so we're going to just follow up and drill those 4 holes. And we'll get back to it here in a second. So it's Friday morning. We're just going to do a little quickie update here because we've basically been drilling holes for 2 weeks. So this is the last of the vertical legs. So it's these guys right here. We're waiting on steel. Let me see if I can get that a little bit better. Yeah, so it's those 2 pieces for Bay 1 right now. That's what we're at. But they're going to be, these parts are going to be duplicates of the other one. They're going to be the exact same thing. It's the cross members that are just the only difference in these is the location where that hole lands. So I've been laying these out, and it's a rainy, crappy, snowy, ice fog, freezing rain. Yeah. So we're cowering in the shop because we got this nice dry stuff to do here. But so Robbie's been doctoring on. Let's look at the radial drill, because I had this epiphany that the radial drill had a built-in light, so I got a light bulb I thought for it, but I haven't even seen this yet either. What did they do?
What it is, the socket broke in there that holds the bulb, and you can see they wound the socket round and round, and it wound the wiring up on it. Maybe there you go. Yeah, so you can see the socket down in the back there with the red wire wound around the top of it, and the nuts come loose.
That's very unhandy, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've got to get that out of there so we can get a new.
Oh, at least there's a junction.
Yeah, there's a junction right there, so it's going to be easy to get apart.
That's good. Yeah, so that little toggle switch right there.
Runs the light.
Yeah, because the camera goes dark. Yeah, runs the light. So with all the radial drill action, just sometime there last week, I was like, this thing does have a light. I remember when we dragged this machine in from being in the storage building, there was just a piece of glass up in there, and so I just arbitrarily bought a light for it when I went to Lowe's the other day to get some, I don't know, saws. I did get a replacement for that 2 5/8 hole saw that we
grenaded.
Yeah. I got a replacement for that. And so I'm gonna get a light for the radial drill. So Robbie's been over here pecking at this. This is what we found.
Get it apart.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it'll be too bad.
No, yeah, it's a lot better than it had to be, that's for sure. Okay, well, so yeah, that's kind of it for now. It's not that exciting, but like we've been drilling holes. I mean, we got a stack of stuff, and we got a little ways to go, but we'll come back at it here. Maybe, well, this isn't all total. This is totally unrelated to Hydrodam, but there's some major developments with the horizontal boring mill. If you saw when we moved the horizontal boring mill in here like a year and a half ago, so got some work to do with it, and it's got to get to work basically. So in the last couple of days, I just had you ever walk by stuff and you just can't look at it another day? That's where I was at with this thing. I just was like, I can't walk by this. So this boring bar was just in the pile, literally in a pile of tooling that came with this. It was all rusty. You can see it's dinged up and stuff, but it's good. But it's that's a 2-inch bar. It had an 1 5/8 bushing in here, which I have some other bars, but the work that we need to do with it is going to be using the 2-inch bar, and I didn't have a bushing for it. So I cleaned this all up, got the machine kind of set. I mean, so I made this. It's just a steel slug with a bronze bushing in it for the bearing element. And I'm encouraged that, because the big thing with these things is you got the headstock and the tailstock, and they're geared together to go up and down. I haven't really measured it yet, but I did put the number 5 Morse tapers just plugged in there pretty hard. I didn't hit it real, you know, I just kind of slid it in a little medium force, and it goes right through that slick as hell. So I'm encouraged that I think that these two guys, the headstock and the tailstock, are in alignment with each other. Like that, you know, machine this old, it didn't get screwed up. The tailstock didn't get lost like a lot of them do. So stay tuned for that. And we've talked about this somewhere else in the scheme of what's working on this. I gotta show off, get some of this other equipment out.
Shown what we,
what
you got.
Yeah, what goes on here. You know, it seems to be the hydro dam and drive shaft channel, but it's not just that. I mean, we do other stuff, but it doesn't get the love because we're not very good at filming things. So that's a little Friday update, and we'll just continue on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back to it. We've actually been on it hard. I want to show you guys something. See this right here? That doesn't look like much, but this, in the head of this, has had the socket for a light since I've had this machine, and it's like, oh, we were looking at this last week. I don't know. So how do I get a light bulb for that? So I went to Lowe's or something, and I just randomly got a small LED bulb, and well, it turns out this morning it was more than just the bulb. It was the socket and then the everything. So yeah, that's what the remnants of what was left up inside of here, inside this casting. The cover comes off. So we're not really going to fully admit to how long we've got into making that light bulb go, but we have a working spotlight in the head of the radial drill now, so it has obvious advantages. So, I mean, it looks like it's a glare through the camera, but it's in real life it's way better, especially for old guys. So now we're going to drill holes.
Now we're going to drill holes.
Perfect. Gratuitous drilling with light? Without light?
Without light, yeah.
I know on camera it looks like it's better, but it's not. It's way better in real life with the light. You just have to justify what we
did.
Yeah.
How we wasted so much time.
Yeah, really. Okay, so this is still just boring, drilling holes, but this is the last 4 holes out of, seems like a lot of holes. And this is the last 4 holes until the next...
Till the next 12 holes.
Yeah, okay. At the bottoms. So, it's a process. Mint. Alright, so, resplendent, like, just, we're going to regale with our new light. We're just going to talk about the, instead of talking just about how cool the radial drill is, we're going to talk about how cool it is with the light now.
Now it's really your favorite tool.
It's got a light. We're not going to talk about how long it took us to fix the stupid light.
We won't talk about how long it took for 2 grown men to screw a light bulb in.
But we persevered. That's the important part. Thread the needle here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, looks good.
So what are we doing today, Chip?
We are... What are we doing? We're making the bracket to hold up the hydraulic system that opens and closes the gate, the penstock gate. And we got running around doing that. Well, so we're fetched up. Basically, we're fetched up because we don't have. We're waiting on angle clips. We got 4 more of these being formed up, these angle clip pieces. And as you can see by the incredibly detailed sketch, it's these guys. And those guys are going to sit on top of these guys. And all the pieces are down there, but...
Now, is that an actual CAD drawing?
Yes.
Okay.
Cardboard-aided design.
All right.
So, in the interim, it looks like we've not been doing anything, but we have been drilling holes, haven't we, Robbie?
Oh, yes, yeah.
And we've got all of the headgear made, except for we got to trim those cross pieces to length once we get the clips, because we got to set the dimension. The other clips that we're waiting on are coming up like this, and those channel irons are going to go to the outside of the clip, so they're going to set on this side, not the inside.
And those pieces of channel are right there.
Yeah, those are the upright ones.
All ready to go.
Yeah.
And that's
So
gonna...
We've got this fabricated. That's going to be our stand-in vertical shaft. So when it's all going to make better sense when we get it assembled. So that guy there is just made out of a piece of exhaust tubing. That's the actual, what our drive adapters from the main shaft from the turbine is going to be made out of, a sprocket and a QD bushing with a slug welded on top of it, so we can put a drive, flange yoke on top of it. So that represents this in real life. That's going to be the shaft up from the turbine. The turbine's down there. And then, yeah, so we're catching up on details. We got to make some of these. Looks like nothing, but we got to have them because we got to be able to hang the gearbox from the chain fall in the penstock when we assemble it. So today's kind of a slack day for us.
Yeah.
We do have some new Smith & Wessons that we're probably going to look at later and have a beer. Hope nobody's offended by that. And I just looked across the yard, and the bottom door of my house is wide open because the girls doing water for the farm did not close it good. And it's, 24 degrees out, and the wind is howling.
Who buys the oil for that building?
My daughter does.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Guess who's going to get a text? Hey, hon, your door is open. And then I'll get this grumbly face, like Angry Bird thing back. Well, can you go close it? Yes, dear. I better go close that now before I get in trouble with my daughter.
So
It is my house.
So this bracket we're building is going to support this hydraulic pump. And that hydraulic pump is going to be what's going to open the main gate, which you saw in episode, I think, 2.
This is the iron worker right here, so it bends, it's got a shear and a punch. So we've done a lot of work here, and we haven't been the greatest at showing how we're actually doing the work. We show the results a lot. Other than drilling holes, we're really heavy on drilling holes. So we're gonna prepare to, we need some slots in the little tabs we're making for the overflow tank for the pump. And this thing excels at metal forming. I got drawers full of different attachments and punches and stuff that go in it. This is a 3/8 by 1 punch. Boom, you punch a hole in 3 seconds that you'd normally have to make with a milling machine. And for fabricating and stuff like this thing is king. Great machine. Bought it new. Love the thing still. So we're going to take the fence off. I'm going to grab a big adjustable that I didn't have. Stand by.
You think bat? Huh?
Bet. Alright, so take this giant nut off. It's kind sequence you have to do here. Okay, that's the punch. I just had a round hole punch. So we're going to punch slotted this way. So put the nut back on a new punch. Now we'll change the die. There's nothing on this machine that really orientates the punch. You kind of have to do it. The spindle just goes straight up and down. That is orientated. So once you put the punch where you need it, it doesn't really move.
It'll stay there.
So I'll just tighten this up. Then you got to float the anvil anchor around the receiver that holds the. That's the punch. This is the die.
Mm-hmm.
So. Like that right there. So I'm gonna pull that down. You gotta kind of cheat it because the punch wants to turn when you're trying to find the final yank on tightening the nut moves the punch. So keep cheating it back and back. You don't have to crush it, but you don't want it to move either. Okay. Now you can see that the gap is a little bit
It changed a little.
wonky, so we're going to just move the die around a little bit just to even the gap up. And just for anybody that's listening in the background, I could do without Loverboy reruns myself. I didn't like them that much when they were new. Oh my God, I'll have the Loverboy. People hate me now.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about that radio station, BLM. You can turn it off for 30 years, turn it back on, haven't missed a thing.
That's too. Okay. Put the fence back on. We're ready to punch us some stale.
The machine looks like it's been around for a little while.
It's a 90. I bought it in '96.
Yeah, it's almost brand new.
Brand new. Well, I mean, I bought it brand new.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, it doesn't work all that much. I mean, it's not like I'm running this thing
Every
3 shifts a
day.
day.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't think I've turned it on in a month. Well, we did cleave off a piece.
Yeah, we did last.
Well, no, I mean, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, 10 minutes ago.
All
We
right,
did.
So after some delays, we're going to make a little tab. So I think I was saying that we do a lot of work, but we haven't had the time to show how we do a lot of it. So iron worker right here. Maybe there's going to be some of changing the dies. But so basically, we're going to make a little support strap for the reservoir tank for the hydraulic pump. So we're going to cleave this off right there, and we're going to punch a 3/8 by 1 slot in the end of that, and then we're going to bend a 90-degree angle in it. So the iron worker is set up to do all those things after we got done changing everything around. So it's going to be a little noisy, but I'm going to stick it in here where the shear is. I've got a line on there. I'm just going to cut it rough because we're going to trim it to fit kind of deal. The special part's going to be the tab that we bend and the hole that we punch. Cleave that off. Just get it down to a bite-sized piece. And we can drop that. The iron worker is great for just making tabs and brackets and stuff like that. Yeah, I could cut this slot with a milling machine and blah blah blah, but I can't do it in 3 seconds. So there's the slot that it makes, and now we're gonna bend a 90 in it, which probably ought to lay that out a little bit. But I got a fence here on there, so basically for our purposes, I gotta just put that about there. Just see how we did for 90. Yeah, we gotta go a little more. Yeah, that's what we wanted. And to be honest with you, I could have cheated it a little bit back that way, but it'll do what we want. We just want to have some flexibility when we bolt this thing to the wall, so that we don't have to fight with it and get stuff lined up. And we're going to bring another little tab out to meet this, because we don't know exactly the depth. We're making the bracket, but until we put it up on the wall, we won't know exactly how far from the other piece it'll be until we put it there. So that's pretty much the end of that. But a little glimpse at the ironworker. I don't think we'd showed that yet, so no, that's pretty much that.
Cool. Yep.
So we've wrapped up the hydraulic pump. So this is the pump that lifts the gate to let the water in the dam to generate electricity. And we did run it, July?
Yeah,
August.
one of the episodes there.
So we were kind of not short on, we got plenty to do, but we've just been waiting on some other components to show up so we can finish the headgear. But it's all got to get done, so we just tackled this today, and we basically have fought all day. Yeah. Seemingly minor little project. We'll make this bracket to hold that pump on the wall, and this little steady to hold that tank, because who knew?
Yeah.
It's a belt.
Yeah.
Am I getting this right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just battled. So, take a look at this tank here. This is the kind of crap you deal with. So, that's not my welding that's screwed up. It's the original bung in the tank was welded on where it comes out through here. You can see this. Look right there.
Yeah.
They're like parallel to each
Yeah.
other. So yeah, kind of a frustrating day all in all. What do you think, Robbie?
Yeah. The only thing is we came, we saw, we persevered, and we won.
We persevered.
It wasn't fun, but we did it.
3-quart tank today. Yeah, so coming right up, we're gonna have, we've got a lot of stuff in motion. It's just we're waiting on some material to be made, the clips to be bent, and we've got all the rest of the pieces made. And when this all comes together, there'll be some of the making of all of the pieces shown. And but that's where we're at right now. And so still forward progress going on. It's frustrating sometimes, but we're being patient, waiting our turn, because it's just the way it works, and that's the way people should be, and not be pouty about it. And I'm not. These other guys that we're getting to do this work for us, they're just as busy as we are, so it's just the way it works. It's kind of the way to be too, is just be patient. So until next time, I guess. What do you got, Robbie? Anything?
No, nothing. Nothing of any substance, I guess.
Yeah. We've got some.
Hit like and subscribe.
Yeah. Yes. If you're watching these things, please like and subscribe. It really does matter. And it's going to all come together. It's just a bunch of scattered bits and pieces right now. But at the end, at the end of this next push here, we're going to set that the gearbox stand up in the penstock room, in the generator room, and it's going to look like something. Right now it's just talk and pieces, and you don't know.
Drilling,
yeah, lots of drilling. Have I said in this episode how much I like the radial drill? Who had the drinking game?
Oh yeah, one of my buddies that I work with. He had a drinking game. Actually, let me pull that out. It was kind of interesting what he sent me. Jim, Noah, Kathy, Frank, where was he? There we go. Abe. So, last Thursday night, I received a text and it says, "Are you and Chip working on the mill project tomorrow?" So I sent him a thumbs up. And it says, "Okay, I'm all caught up on episode 8, so you are free to proceed further on that project."
It's okay with him if we proceeded?
Yeah, he gave us the green light.
Okay, good.
And he's one of the people that have hit like and subscribe. And he said, I send him a thumbs up and a couple of laughing faces, and it says, "We appreciate your patronage, and we appreciate you giving us the go-ahead to continue onward. And if you don't mind, please hit like and subscribe. If we don't get more people to do that, we'll be just a couple of starving machinists." He said, "I did subscribe. I also thought of a drinking game that viewers could participate in. Every time Chip says his new favorite word is wicket, they can take a shot. I'm not sure how we could be monetarized on that, but let's give it a go." I said, "I'm sure it would gain the attention of a lot of professional drinkers.
Yep.
So if
Could
you've
be.
got any good ideas..."
I can't imagine anybody like that possibly be watching our channel. But...
I doubt it. Or at least not before they started, maybe afterwards.
Right, yeah. Did we show the stand-in piece for the shaft? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think you did that this morning.
Okay. All right. Well, that's about it for today. We got some new Smith and Wesson products that I just got to look at shortly after Beer 30 occurs. We're not going to go shooting and drink beer. We're going to have one beer in the shop and look at cool new guns. So, I don't see anything wrong with
Till
that.
next week.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.